Hi, Ann Cornick from Paintnporcelain. I'm here to help beginners get started in China painting and also to encourage those of you that have been painting for a while to paint along with me. And today we're going to work on Indian corn, something new and totally different, I hope. And beginners, you'll love this because it's very simple. If you haven't tried anything yet, this is the one to try. So this is how my first attempt came out. I was going to put this in a bowl, and I thought, well, I'll try it on a plate first because a plate would be easier, it's not curving to it. And so I did this, and this is my Indian corn. Now, some of these on the second coat I'm going to have to darken, but by and large, this has been fired, and you can see really it came out, I think, pretty well. I'm not going to darken the husks on this because I really want the corn to be kind of the focal point of it. This is what we're going to be working on today. Now, one of the things I really like, this is still wet, I did it yesterday, but one of the things I really like about this is the mottled corn. If I bring it real close to you, see the middle, the red kernels in the middle, they're mottled. They have like a pattern in them. And that also is very easy to do. So this is what we're going to work on today. Okay, today for brushes, what I'm using is, and this is the brush I love. It's a Dresden brush, actually, from Jane Houston. I have two of these. These are used that I got. And I'm keeping them both because I love them. And this is what I'm going to use to do the kernels today. Okay? And then you're going to need a liner. And this is a long, thin liner. The longer, the thinner, the better for me. I like long liners, but if you like a short one, that's fine too. You're going to need a Pico-Pay eraser. That's what this is. It's going to make getting the highlights on those kernels very easy, and you're going to need a wedge eraser. And I haven't used this very often, but if you have it, it's the kind, this one's broken. Here, let me get one that's not broken. This one has the point on one end, and then the wedge is on the other. Let me hold it correctly here so you can see. The point and the wedge. I like the one that I have that's broken. It's just more pliable. When you buy these, always check to make sure that they're pliable. If they've been stored open for long periods of time, they become kind of brittle and they don't work very well. This is what, and for those of you that just tuned in, this is what we're doing today. It's going to be Indian corn, and it's the simplest thing you have ever done, ever. But beginners, please try this because I think you'll be pleasantly surprised at how cool this is. Alrighty, I'm going to tilt us down. We'll get started. Oh, you're also going to need a number 10 or some kind of big brush just to put the color on. Now, think of each of these as a triangle, long triangle, wider at the top, narrower at the bottom, although it's a rounded bottom on corn for the most part. And what you're going to do is you're going to paint at least this half with the lightest color, this half with the darker color. Colors that you're going to use today really can be anything. Here are some samples of some of the corn that I have found online. And as you can see, they have blue, they have red and black. Over on this side, they have a purple one. And then up at the top, they have one with all the different colors in it. That one has the mottled kernels. You can see what they look like. So what I would suggest for colors for this is you leave your palette open. What I have on my palette is a light yellow, but a bright yellow, not like an Albert. You want a bright yellow, like a lemon yellow or a buttercup or a mixing yellow. You want an okra if you have it. That's always a good color for this kind of thing. Persian is a good color to use as well. I also have, this is, what is that? I can't read it. Oh, blood red. I write it BLUD just so I need. I have reflected light that was left on from last week. It works. There's sunflower, which is kind of the same as a yellow brown. I have an orange, and I have a carnation. And I have a royal violet that I also use. And these are all for the kernels. Now, for the husk, I use ivory. I use my yellow. I use a warm brown gray that I have, which is a really nice gray. Can you see that? That's kind of a gray brown, which is really nice. And then, of course, my rich brown. So those are the colors I'm going to be using. But like I said, pull up some pictures of corn from the internet and then decide which ones you want to imitate. And that way you'll get it really nice. You can arrange your corn any way you want. You can do the circle like I did here. You can do this. You can even take, if it's a long plate, and you can put bunches. Here, let me show you. I think I have one here. Yep. You can put bunches like this all across a long plate. It'd be really cute. So whatever you're trying to do, whatever you have in mind, make sure that you pull up some pictures and decide what you want and then design your plate. If you want to use the line drawing I have, that's entirely up to you. Okay, we're going to start out with some color. This one in the middle is going to be predominantly yellow. And I took a picture of my plate because it's wet and I don't want to keep picking it up. So I'm going to paint it yellow on this side and a darker yellow, like maybe an ochre on that side, just to get it started. Okay, let me move these things out of the way. We don't need them there. Okay. And, let me get this. Boy, didn't get myself very well organized here today. Alrighty. And I'm going to take my yellow and I'm going to go real dark. You want it to be dark because some of your kernels are going to be this color. And so you want to make sure that it's on there nice and dark. You can leave a little bit of a highlight in the middle if you want. And then on this side, I'm going to go golden ochre. So I like to paint towards myself, which is what most China painters do. So I just turned it upside down so I could paint towards myself. Need a little oil there. Okay. There we go. Hard, huh? Oops. Got a glop. Hang on. Break it up a little. There we go. If you get a glop like that, just go make circles and it breaks right up real easy. Okay, so that's the main one that I'm working on. And that's what I have so far. Nothing fancy. Then I'm going to take my liner and I'm going to look at the colors that I want to put there, and I'm going to decide what's kind of the darkest color. It's probably the red. You see that? There's a little bit of red. I have orange, I have purple, I have every color there. So I think I'm going to take the red, and I'm going to divide this up into rows. I'm just going to use this coming down the middle. You can make a straight line. If it's a crooked line, it doesn't matter either. And then I'm going to do a second one. Here, let me do it like this. I'll do a second one right here. You want it somewhat dark, and I'll show you why in a minute. Now, when I did corn, when I first learned it, I hated it. And the reason I hated it was we did not do this. We did each of these kernels individually and shaped each one all the way down. What a pain. This will be much quicker, I think. So you pick a color. I'm going to pick purple. And you put your brush in it. Now, load your brush both sides. Really get it on there because you want it fairly thick. And I'm just going to put this on at random. So here's one. And you kind of are doing almost like a little C. And I'm going to put one here. It's better if you can put it away from you and hold the bottom of your brush and just do it. I know it looks kind of dorky now. You'll see. It's not going to look dorky when we're done. And I'm going to put one down here because this is the one that's kind of intermittent. I'm going to put a couple over here. You do have to load your brush fairly regularly with this. I'm just doing little C strokes. And I just go over them a couple of times. Here we go. Maybe put one down at the very bottom. Let's see, maybe another one up in here. If you hold the brush down lower, you actually get a little looser of a kernel, I guess is the way to put it. And let's do 3 here. Okay, this last one needs a little more purple on it. Now, when I did this and fired it, I found that some of my colors needed a little more color. So on the second fire, so it's going to be pretty dark on the first fire, but on the second fire, you may want to go back and touch a few things up. Now, the next thing I'm going to do, I'm taking my blood red, I'm loading both sides of my brush or all of my brush, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to pick some places and just do it. That didn't show up very well. Let's do it this way. There we go. I want it to really show up. I'm going to do a few by it so it'll show up. I'll put right at the bottom here. That ochre that I used is a little dark, and that's not a problem, but it doesn't work as well with the red as I thought it might. I'm going to put a couple in here. Okay, so what beginner can't do this? I mean, this is so simple. You're just doing little half strokes. And see, when you get a couple of them together, like right there, you see how they really start getting so that they look like they're little kernels? I think it's really cool. Okay, I'm going to clean my brush. Move on to another color. Let's do an orange. Okay, so I'm going to do an orange here, an orange up here. I have a little orange down here and an orange here. I'm not going to do too much orange. The rest I'm going to do in yellow. So far this is what I have. And then these yellow spaces, obviously they just look like plain yellow, so I'm going to do those in yellow. Load my brush really well, and I'm even going to go over here. See how I did that? Stick one in between there. I'll stick a couple here. Come down here, stick one. Maybe a couple right here in a row. You know, as they get closer to the bottom, they get thinner. So whatever you decide to do. I hope you guys like this. You know, one of my problems is I try to do something new every class that we start. And a lot of teachers are lucky. They have something they're known for, like roses or grapes or something, and they do it all the time and they just repeat it. But I don't have that. I'm really trying to give you something new every week. I might actually mix the red in. There we go. So it separates those a little bit. And then down here, it's a red. There we go. So I'm just trying to even out that line and make it not quite so obvious. So I'm just going to go through, clean my brush, and dip it in maybe a purple now, and just go and see if I can hit those purples and make that line less obvious. Alrighty. Ha! Ta-da! So anyway, you get the idea, I'm sure, from this. You'll see as we finish them all, they turn out really cool. Okay. Now, we're going to take our Paintnporcelain. That's the next most important thing ever. And hold it back on the end, because what you want to do is just pick a couple of places, then clean it off. You're just on the left-hand side for me. I'm right-handed. You guys, if you're right-handed, you might want to do it on the other side. But I'm just putting a highlight on these. I'll go back and I'll hit the other ones. Hit here, here. Let's get that guy. How about that one? Let's do that one, that one, that one. Can you see what I'm doing? Look, I'm just doing a little highlight. I hesitate to bring it so close because I really do need to look at it to see what the heck I'm doing. And I'm pushing down and pulling over to the side and lifting real quick, making little dashes, but they're rounded. They're not just straight. Here, if I put some paint on it and I bring this up, let me show you. They're like this. Can you see that? Can you see that? There. They're rounded. They're like little commas almost. Because I want them to kind of go along with the corn, okay? So I'm just trying to make this the easiest thing you've ever done. So you don't have to go through the hardship I did of doing each one of these individually, which is just nuts, especially if you're a beginner who wants to spend that kind of time. Now for the modeling. The red ones are modeled. I just take the very tip of this, and I'm coming really close so you can see. I'm going to hold it way back so you can really see, and I just doodle. And I'm only doing the red ones because on the picture I have, it's just the red ones that are modeled. Can you see what I've done there? Got to clean your Pico-Pay from time to time. You're just squiggling. It's just a squiggle. Whatever squiggle you do. And I'm only doing it on the red ones. Okay, and then I'm going to hold it way away from me so that I can see this one still needs it, this one still needs it, that one, that one, that one, that one. I don't put them on them all, but I want to make sure that I have a little bit of a highlight there. Okay. Now I'm going to do the ones on either side of this, but before I do, I'm going to take my wedge eraser. Where the heck is it? Here it is. And I'm just going to do this, watch. I'm going to take the wedge eraser, hold it down so you can see, and I'm just going to go from one kernel to the next. Now I have the line on here with Sharpie, so it may be hard to see. But I'm just kind of outlining those ears, those kernels, so that it gives it more of a texture of an outside of an ear of corn. And you probably can't tell, but I can certainly tell here. And then just clean it up. And then I'm going to do it on the other side by turning it over. You only go in like that much. Can you see? I'm just barely going in. I just want it to look, I don't want it to look flat. I want it to look like an ear of corn on the outside. And these are all pretty good, so I'm not going to worry about them. Okay, let's do another color, shall we? Alrighty, this guy is going to be black. So what color do you think I'm going to paint him? That's right, I'm going to paint him black. I am not going to, oh, this has yellow on it. Make sure you clean off your brushes. And I let my brushes accumulate and stuff so that I have to put them all back and start over. So hopefully you're not that type, but okay. I got the yellow off. So this one's going to be black. So I'm going to take black and I'm just going to load it. Now on this side I want to come down a little bit. There we go. And then I'm going to come back this way. Now I'm not going to do it a super dark black because I'm going to put the dark black on here and I won't be able to see it if everything's dark black. Smooth it out a little bit. There we go. So this is my black one now. Okay, again, we're going to just take the liner. This time there's no thought about what color to use. It's obviously black. And you're going to have to be careful because you know that the wedge, this is a triangle, it comes up this way. So there's part of it's back here. So you're going to start back there and you're going to come down and just make your line. And you're going to come down here and make your line. That's just so you get your little kernels in a row, okay? And then I'm going to take, this is obviously going to be black and red, so I'm going to start with the red because I want to make them sort of random on here. So I'm going to do maybe a couple here and maybe one down here, maybe one over here. Oh, I'm sorry, can you see what I'm doing? I'll do one up here, one down here, another one down here, one there. Maybe put two in a row there. I'm using, this is carnation for the red. I just, like I said the other week when I found it, I just love it. Okay, and I think I'd like one more right in here. Okay, I'll clean it off. And I'm going to take my black and do it. Yeehaw! Here we go. Black, black, and oh, I got into the purple. That's okay. Nobody cares. Black, black. The hardest ones to do are the ones that are half hidden. Get a little more black on here. Here we go. Black. Let me just get a little more black down here at the bottom. Okay, now some of these I've left. I think I'm going to make them a little bit gray. And the way I'm going to do that is just take my brush and go like this. I'm not going to clean my brush, except to wipe it. Do a couple more up in here. Because I think it just needed a little more variety. Okay. All right, that's that guy. What did that take me, 5 minutes? Real hard, real hard. Now, again, I'm going to go back with my black, and I'm just going to dot, kind of make little dots down here because you almost can't see. I'm not doing it all the way down. I'm just doing it here and there through that line just to make that line a little darker. I'm going to do the same thing on this side where I think it needs it. And a little bit down in here, okay? And that just gives those kernels a way to kind of flip into there. And then we go back to our Paintnporcelain. And I'm just gonna, I'm holding it down by the bottom and I'm just gonna boop, 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 boop. I'll tell you, I am a believer that if there's an easy way to do it, I will find it because I'm a bottom liner. If I can't get something done in 1 or 2 fires, I really am not one of those people that likes to spend a lot of time on something. I mean, I do if I can get it done, but I can't always. And sometimes it's nice to have something that you can whip out really quick and it works. Now I'm making those little commas. You hold it back, you get a better result. It's a little looser. You don't have to do it on every one. Okay, and then after you do it, hold it back and decide, do I need it anywhere else? Am I okay? I think I'm okay. What do you guys think? Am I okay? The only thing I do need to do now is come down with my eraser and just, because you can see the line over here on this side? I want to get rid of that, and so I'm just gonna, it's gonna be harder with the black. Now some of that line is my my Sharpie. And I'm just going over each one just to kind of give it a little separation. And around the bottom, you know how the bottoms are really funny on these. And then I'm going to flip it, and I'm going to do down this side here. That's it. That one's done. Okay. And the last one we're going to do is going to be red. Red, red, red. I'm going to do it in a blood red. And I'm going to do them dark here. Blood red does not fire off for me. I don't know about you, but it does not fire off for me. So this is a good one to do it with. And I'll just put a little lighter on this side. There we go. Okay. Same principle now. You're going to decide what colors you're going to put. I'm going to put purple and white on this. So you're going to want to probably take the darker color. And I think in this case, though, I'm going to stick with the red. And I'm just going to put a red line down here. And a red line right here. There we go. And then I'm going to get my pink #2 pointer. And I always start with the kind of odd colors. So if I'm going to put a little bit of purple on here, I'm going to start with that. I'm going to put the purple up here. And down here. And a couple here. I'll get that one there, that one there. Oh, hang on, I gotta... You almost have to face this head on. If you don't face it head on, your little kernels aren't gonna look as nice. They're gonna look kind of awkward. Yoop, yoop. Oh, sorry. Okay, my next color, I think, is gonna be red. So I'm gonna dip into my blood red and really get going here. Now you can see I'm obviously going to have a few white on here because it's going to be too bleh, too many of the same color. And do this down here, a couple, maybe one there, one down here, one over here, one up there. I'll do a couple down here. 1, 2, 3. Another one there, another one there. Okay, oops. Now see, I wasn't head on to these, so they're off center. Let me just straighten them out. You really have to be head on to this stuff. That's one of the only problems. Okay, now I cleaned off my brush and I'm going in and I'm going to do the white ones. I think I want a red one right here. Oh, maybe I'll make it purple. Because I'm having trouble with the red there. There we go. There we go. And maybe this guy here. Maybe one right there. Okay. Alrighty. That one's done. Take my Pico-Pay, go in. You can't really do them on the white ones. Got a little too much purple on there. It's probably best to do all the same color first and then come back and do the others. And then I'm going to, with this one, some of these kind of went over too far. Hang on, I gotta fix that guy up. There we go. Okay, and then I'm going to come down the center using my liner. I'm going to use carnation, and I'm just going to, I'm dotting. I'm not going down evenly. I'm just dotting. Can you see how I'm dotting in there? Look, there. And then down in here, I put a few dots just to separate things. Okay. And the last thing, of course, will be taking this and going around the edge there. Wipe your eraser off. Remember, it's just paint. If you make a mistake, it's no big deal. You just go back and change it. Okay. That's my corn. Okay, now for the top, the way I've done it on here is I took and I used my brush, my big brush. So let me put the erasers back. We're done with those. We're done with the liner, and we're done with this little brush. And I like the number 10 for this. It seems to work better for some reason. And I'm just going to take, and I'm going to take like an ivory full load with a side load of, I've got that brown gray that I have, warm brown gray. And I'm just coming down, kind of like we did on the sunflowers. And I'm coming down 1, 2, 3 using the bottom of my brush, the side of my brush. And then I'm coming back this way and just sort of wiping the color up just a little, not much. And then I want to make it a little darker as we get near the top. So I've added a little brown right up there. Okay, put a little brown here too. All right. Now the reason I did that is because I want them to be gathered at the top. Now I'm going to do a little tie up there once I get my husks done. And you want it to have a little bit of a line look to it, little lines to it. So don't worry about that if you get lines in there. That's perfectly fine. I'm just doing this because I like bright colors. So I'm putting a lot of bright color in here. Oh, I'm sorry, can you see? Yeah. So I'm putting my deepest colors in first, and then I'll just pull it all out. So beginners, I expect some of you to try this. It's not hard. And here you're just, oh, okay, maybe not that dark. You're just putting your, oh, that killed it. Hang on, I got to reload my brush. Okay. Every once in a while I get carried away. Okay. And then let's do a little okra with a little warm brown down in here. I'm doing it very loosely. There's nothing fancy about this. Cleaning my brush. Now I'm going to get into just the ivory. And I'm just going to side load with ivory and just pull it out to the edge. Side load with ivory. You see what I'm doing here? And I'm just pulling it out to the edge. Kind of leave the middle so it's got a little bit of light to it. See, I knew I could do this, and that's the reason why I kept saying, well, why am I trying to come up with something for the next week when I know I can do this? And this is simple. Really simple. And I'm just going to smooth this a little bit because some of this got, as you know, overly gunky. Then let me show you a little trick. I used it on the other ones. I didn't use it on this one. I have a lousy fan brush, but at least it's a fan brush. I don't think I have another one. This brush, I'm just going to condition it a little bit. If you have a fan brush, great. If not, don't worry about it. And I'm just going to take a little okra and put on it and just sort of try to pull over those leaves to get them, over those leaves, over the, what is it called? Husk. To get it, can you see the stripes I put in that? You can. Because husks have those stripes. They do. Okay, so then clean your brush or whatever you want to do and clean up all those edges. Now, if you're going to do a background on this, I would wait till the second fire so you don't mess anything up. I didn't do a background on that one. I don't know if I will on this. If I did, I don't know what color I'd use. I don't know what color I'd use. I might use an okra because I kind of like that. But I might not. Okay, now if you put your lines on, do it with the red or the tracing paper, but don't go over it with the Sharpie because you can see the lines are screwing me up a lot of places. Oh, one last thing. I'm going to take my liner and my carnation red, which I just love, and I'm just going to put a little string up there, like that. Okay, well, so that's my version of those nasty, drive you crazy Indian corns. I don't think Indian corn should be difficult, and I don't think you need to do every individual kernel to make it pretty. I think from a distance, even close up, this looks just fine. And pick up those brushes, keep painting. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. I hope you enjoyed the program, and I hope you'll take a minute to subscribe so that other people can learn more about China painting and we can get the word out to more people. You also can look at the links below. My Paintnporcelain.com website has a lot of freebies and printables for new and experienced painters, as well as studies, supplies, and even some of my hand-painted china. So thank you again, and I'll see you next time.